Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, and this is the news today.
Biden's Putin power remark raises questions about long-term Russia strategy. U.S. President Joe Biden, his aides and Western allies are scrambling to explain his remark that Russian leader Vladimir Putin could not remain in power because they do not want to escalate conflict between Washington and Moscow, officials said. The 9-word line, at the end of a 27-minute speech in Warsaw on Saturday, has distracted from what some observers regard as the best piece of rhetoric of Biden's presidency. It made foreign allies uneasy at the end of an otherwise successful trip aimed at uniting allies against Russia, and has raised fresh questions about the United States' long-term strategy for its former Cold War foe. "For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power," Biden said in the Polish capital after condemning Putin's month-long war in Ukraine at length. A White House official told Reuters the comment about Putin was not in the scripted speech. Asked whether the sentiment reflected Biden's true feelings, the official didn't answer directly but noted that the U.S. president has not shied away from calling his Russian counterpart a butcher and war criminal. In his political career, Biden has made some notable verbal missteps during freewheeling sessions with reporters or other spontaneous events. On his recent European trip, Biden said the United States would respond in kind if Russia used chemical weapons in Ukraine and suggested that U.S. troops would go to the front lines, neither of which represent U.S. policy. But Saturday's remark wasn't one of those situations. He was speaking to an audience from a teleprompter. In the minutes before he called for Putin's departure from power, the crowd of roughly 1,000 people was clearly feeding off Biden's remarks, clapping, waving flags and even starting a chant. Biden's emotional declaration gave voice to the frustration that many Western countries, and many U.S. voters, feel about the invasion of Ukraine, one ally to the Democratic president said. It came, officials explained, after a day that included Biden meeting with Ukrainian refugees uprooted by war and government officials in Ukraine trying to respond to Russian bombing campaigns that have ravaged cities and, according to the United Nations Human Rights Office, killed at least 1,119 civilians. Nonetheless, the remark echoes long-standing accusations from Russia and other nations that the United States seeks an imperialistic role in world conflicts, and escalates tensions as the West tries to manage an increasingly unpredictable Putin. The cleanup effort was swift and widespread, reflecting a strong desire inside the administration to avoid escalation with Russia, even it dinged Biden's reputation. The U.S. Secretary of State, White House press office, U.S. ambassador to NATO, and German chancellor all shot the idea of regime change down within a day, capped by Biden himself, who bluntly said no, when asked by reporters in Washington if he is calling for regime change. On Monday, Biden explained to reporters at the White House that his remark reflected his own moral outrage about Putin's actions, rather than any policy change. Still, he added, if the Russian leader continues on the course that he's on, he's going to become a pariah worldwide, and who knows what he becomes at home in terms of support. Officials in the Biden administration have said in recent weeks that they have grown increasingly concerned about Putin's decision-making and his country's more casual invocation of the threat of nuclear weapons, a posture that made Biden's statement even more surprising.
This is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.